By the way, because this is an H sound kind of made in the back of your throat, this letter, as well as a few other select letters that we'll talk about, is called a guttural letter. This is the word gutter, which is the Latin word for the back of your throat. Okay? Sometimes I still misspell this as gutter, and students do this all the time. That's a different kind of a gutter. All right, that's where my bowling balls end up. But this has to do with your throat, and it's called a guttural letter. Okay? Now, I want you to note which letters are gutturals. You'll look at the directions up top, and at some point you learn the name of the transliteration, insert Dagesh name, which we've already talked about, and then it says know which letters are guttural letters. The reason for this is that there are 4 consonants that are these guttural letters, and they're going to play some tricks on us. This is sort of for future reference. Okay, they're going to do a few strange things. This is not to be feared, but I'm alerting you that we have to know certain letters that are gutturals. We've already had one, and the first guttural that we came to was, in fact, the aleph. But there were so many problems with aleph already, I didn't have the heart to tell you that it's a guttural too. Okay, so maybe we should be making a side list here. A side list of guttural letters to go with our list of Dagesh letters. And we've had 2 so far. We've had aleph and we've had hey. Oh, I forgot to tell you about hey, didn't I? All right, hey's one too. Did I skip that? Yeah, see, now I'm finally talking about gutturals. Let's go back to our thing here. Hey's a guttural. And now Haith is a guttural. This is the first one where you really get it in the throat, though. So we've actually had 3 guttural letters, aleph, hey, and Haith. And I'm going to group them this way because hey and Haith form a pair. They're both H sounds. Okay? And aleph and another letter are going to form a pair, which is why I'm going to leave a blank there for a letter to be named later. Taith. This is this hard T sound. Now, it's made with very square corners in print, but written, it's like a big U, except that then you kind of drop the top into the middle of the bowl. See what I'm doing here? Make a big bowl, and then just loop the line into the middle of it. That's a taith. Don't start making these things a little bit sideways. Some people make these turn out to be weather symbols or something, or little spirals, and that's not a taith. It's really a nice broad U with the line falling into the middle there. Haith taith. Okay, now we come to the little letter yod. Okay, this is the smallest letter, and if you think of that rectangle box in which most of the letters fit, the yod really covers only the upper right-hand corner of it. All right, this is the little jot, as in not a jot or a tittle will fall from the law. All right, the yod, the littlest letter. Okay, it's the Y sound. It's a very common letter, by the way. The divine name Yahweh starts with a yod, and it's one of the standard verbal prefixes, so you get this all over the place. In fact, all the personal and place names that start with Y, including Israel, which in Hebrew is Yisrael, and words like Jacob, which is Yaakov, and Isaac, which is Yitzchak, all start with this same letter, yod, because they're really verb forms. Okay? Well, and you'll get to figure that out later. But anyway, this is easy to make. It's just a little right angle in the upper right-hand corner of the writing box. There you go, yod. Okay? Don't make them too big. All right? If you make them too big, you're gonna take up, and then this looks like a resh or a badly made daleth or something else. All right? So keep it small. All right? All right. Let's recite what we got so far. We're gone through Kaf. I got to do this because otherwise I don't know what's coming next. Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Daleth, Hey, Wow, Zion, Cheth, Taith, Yod, Kaf. That's the next one. Now, kaf. Here's some more problems. First thing, let's just learn the letter. It's like a C, a backwards C. And it is a K sound, even though it's really a K, not a C. Okay? And it's just that loop around like that. Now, the next thing you're going to notice about a kaf is it's got a dot. Now, you're going to have to stop calling it a dot and start calling it a dagesh lane. Okay? Kaf. And which means we have to add that to our list, don't we? Here we've got another one. Now, those three we did in a row. Now we add a kaf, which is the K sound. There's another, here again, there's not a whole lot of distinction made when people try to read this, at least not in scholarly academic Hebrew. Modern Hebrew is a different story. Though they've lost most of the dagesh lane sounds completely, between a hard and a soft kaf. They're both kind of a k sound. The soft is more of a very soft ch maybe. So you don't have to be too concerned about pronunciation on this. The other trick, however, is that here's the first time we come across a letter that has a final form. Now, you know about this from Greek because there's one letter in Greek that has both a medial and a separate final form, and that's sigma, right? In Hebrew, we have 5 of these animals, sad to say, and here's the first one. Okay? The final kaf starts the same way. You go over, but now instead of going down, you stop, you leave a little bit of a tail, an overhang, and you just do a vertical line. Final forms in general tend to block off and square off letters. And we'll see that again. Okay? There's your final kaf. It extends below the line. This is the first time we've gone below the writing line. Okay? And you see how important that is. If you don't go below the line, now what do you have? This looks a lot like a daleth up here, right? So you got to take it below the line. Those 2 little dots, this is something new that go in there, are not part of the letter at all. This is actually a vowel mark that we'll learn is the mark for a schwa. In fact, it's not just any kind of a schwa, it's a silent schwa, which already anticipates another nightmare in Hebrew spelling. We tend to think of schwa sounds as undesignated vowel sounds, like That's what a schwa is. But in Hebrew, they use the same mark for a vowel